Welcome to the Robert A. Mann Auditorium here at the Schwartz Center at the University of Miami. I want to thank President Shalala, President Rosenberg, and Athletic Director Pete Garcia for joining me here today for this exciting announcement. Today we're announcing a scheduling agreement between the University of Miami and Florida International University for 2 football games, one being September 22nd, 2018, the other being in November of 2019, and a date to be determined. As importantly is to announce a partnership in all of our sports going forward, scheduling competitions. While we don't have other dates to announce in other sports today, Pete and I have agreed that in all of our programs we will continue to work to schedule each other because of our belief in the great things it brings to the student athletes at both Florida International University and the University of Miami. When we look at it from a student athlete welfare perspective, it's important that our kids are able to spend as much time as possible in class and not arriving back home late at night. And so to schedule a crosstown rival of Florida International University is something that makes sense for us. In a day and age where expenses in college athletics continue to escalate, one of those big expenses being the cost of travel, again, from a financial perspective, this was a relationship that I thought made a lot of sense on many different levels. And finally, community. When you look at the South Florida community and in Miami, we have the University of Miami and our crosstown institution, Florida International University, that I think so many things can come out of this relationship. And so to talk more about this, I invite my boss, our President Shalala, for a few words.
Thanks very much, Mike, and thanks for your leadership and Pete Garcia's leadership to put this together. President Rosenberg and I have spent a lot of time selling Miami as a great college town, and this is just another step in that direction. We already cooperate on community health care initiatives with Jackson Memorial Hospital, and we collaborate on the study of Latin America and the Caribbean and the European Union, among other things. In fact, we spend a lot of time thinking of things that we can collaborate on. Our community expects this of us. This is a great college town, but the colleges and universities working together is important to our community, and therefore I'm absolutely delighted that our crosstown sister institution and the University of Miami will be playing each other, not just in football, but in other sports. I want the whole community to embrace the pride that we have in intercollegiate athletics and doing the right thing in our communities. And we hope that the community and the fans and the alumni will attend the matchups. We expect to be able to fill the stadiums with our alums, with our students, and with members of the community that feel very strongly that supporting 2 great institutions in athletics is part of being a great citizen in our community. Let me also say that everybody's avoiding this crosstown rivalry. We want a crosstown rivalry. We want the excitement of a crosstown rivalry. We want our students coming up with creative cheers for this crosstown rivalry. So let me invite my friend and colleague and crosstown rival, President Mark Rosenberg. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Madam President. I want to thank Blake, I want to thank Pete, I want to thank the athletic departments, but most of all, we want to thank the community, because President Shalala and I both know this is what the community wants. And we're universities that are family-oriented and community-centered, and there's nothing better than to renew this incredible rivalry, this incredible relationship in this way. Everywhere you look in this community, you'll see evidence of the presence of the University of Miami and FIU. And there's no reason why we shouldn't have this collaboration in this form. So we're very proud to be able to make this announcement today, and I want to ask our athletic director, Pete Garcia, to conclude the formal presentations.
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank Blake and President Shalala and President Rosenberg for helping put this together. Like they reiterated, this is huge for our community, but also for our students in missed class time. This will allow them to miss less class time. Financially, Blake talked about it. We're also going to partner up and talk and try to bring events down to South Florida, whether it be an NCAA basketball regional or whatever it is, we'll work together to try to bring more events that this community can be proud of. This will be for all our sports. We're excited about that. We've talked about where our home game is going to be at, and right now it's open. We've talked to Tom Garfinkel and Jeremy Walsh from the Dolphins. They'd like it to be at their place. I've talked to David Sampson. He'd like it to be at Marlins Park. So we talked about that. I've talked to the Marlins about the possibility of having a baseball weekend in South Florida. Well, what does that mean? That means that maybe the Marlins, they play the Hurricanes already in Jupiter. They play us in Jupiter. Maybe they'll play us down here at the stadium like they did. So we could have multiple games here in a weekend where the Hurricanes play the Marlins, FIU plays the Marlins, and FIU plays the Hurricanes, maybe at their stadium. So there's a lot of dialogue coming in. There's a lot of endless possibilities that we could do. But at the end of the day, it's all for our community. And what I ask all our fans and all the University of Miami fans, obviously I graduated from the University of Miami and I've worked now for 8 years at FIU. So, I want everybody to know that I root for the University of Miami every time, unless we play. So, but I want our fans to work together and work together. Hopefully, we could be the leaders of helping. And I know there's a lot of FIU alumni out there, 200,000. I know there's tens of thousands of UM alumni out there to work together to help this community. And whatever the endeavor might be, we're going to lead the way in working together, and hopefully everybody else will work together for the betterment of our community. So I'd like to thank everybody.
Now, if there's any questions anyone has, obviously President Shalala, President Rosenberg, Peter, myself will be happy to answer those. We ask you to keep them to the announcement today, and again, open it up for any questions.
Like, there was obviously an awful lot of bad feeling on both sides after what happened in '06 or whatever year it was. How long did it really take for those wounds to heal and for this to become not just reality, but even like a feasible possibility?
I'll take, so since the question came to me, I'll answer. I wasn't here in 2006, and so I can't relate to the situation that occurred at that time. Obviously, I was aware of it, watching it from afar. What I will say is I approached President Shalala on this idea after Pete and I had a conversation, and both President Shalala, I felt it was the right time, and again, as the reason that I touched on earlier, it was the right thing to do, and so we felt it was moving forward and moving ahead as an athletic program with our partners from Crosstown that made sense to do this.
Blake, or anyone who wants to answer this, I'm wondering about the baseball. Can you elaborate on that? Well, you guys, I know baseball doesn't play each other.
Talking.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where we're talking on all fronts. I think there has been maybe not a written rule by any means, but I think both schools have avoided scheduling, and so as everyone knows, because I've shared this, and I'm sure Pete would echo, scheduling is one of the most challenging situations we have in athletic programs, from meeting coaches' expectations to meeting our budgetary and fan expectations to getting dates to line up. And so the message that I'm going to go to with all of our coaches is that I really encourage them to play Florida International University in all of our programs. I know that there are many that will happen right away, and for some it might take a little bit longer to happen, but I'll be surprised if we don't see competitions on all fronts with all our programs here in the very near future.
I think Blake's being generous, that we're also restrained by our own conferences because they do the scheduling first and we really have to build around it, and that's what makes it even more complicated.
Question for Pete or President Rosenberg. What's the financial arrangement between you two for these games?
Basically, it's reciprocal. So I know for football, it's $500,000 when we play at their place, and $500,000 when they play at our home place. But basically, the financial arrangements are going to be a wash. But the benefit is all the travel and getting on a plane and hotel rooms and everything else, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars of savings for each institution, where we could better utilize that money on our student athletes and things that they need.
Any more questions, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Good job.